one and only.
Oh, Deshaun.
Deshaun Watson, man. This guy, man. You know, in our past podcast, man, we talked about it, and we not saying we took sides, but we was given the benefit of the doubt because we wasn't in that situation. But everybody, Creative Notice followers, if you have not went and watched his deposition, please go watch it because it's going to really make you go real fast, man. But he's suspended for 6 games. So I know we haven't done a prediction for them, but what do you think? He's suspended for 6 games. I mean, are we really that confident in the backup?
No, because they came out. The NFL is going to appeal it, and
most definitely.
And they want him. They want him gone for a year, which most people thought was going to be a year anyway. Yeah. I thought it was going to be a year. So I just think. Yeah. I think Roger Goodell's under a lot of. It's weird though. You know what's weird about that is, okay, it's like you can't have everything you want. Yeah. Like the whole point, they didn't like Roger Goodell having all that power because in the law, in the letter of the law, he can basically, he was the judge, jury, and executioner. He decided your fate. So a lot of people, and again, my boy Tom Brady, when he during what was that Deflategate, he took it to court as well, which a lot of people do, but he was one of the well-known ones that took it further to district court and Supreme Court. It's almost like be damned if you do, be damned if you don't. So if the players are upset that Roger Goodell has all this power, why even take it this far? Because he could have been, if they just would have been like, okay, Roger Goodell, why even, her name is Sue Robinson, the judge that's handed out the 6 games. They could have took it out of Sue's hand and kept it in Roger Goodell's hand, and he could have just came down with the punishment and moved on. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, how they're doing this. Well, it's not weird. I understand it, but it's like one of those things where, I don't know, Roger Goodell's in a tough position because for what he was alleged, and especially with the conduct of the NFL, I mean, it has to be a year. It can't be 6 games. That just seems light. That's like because the problem is the slap in the face of the victims, even though they 23 of the 24 settled. But just because they settled doesn't mean the damages are gone. They're going to be scarred for a lifetime.
So let me ask you this, and I don't mean to cut you off. Let me ask you this real quick question. Out of all the players that's in the league right now or that's suspended, let's just use Calvin Ridley, for example. So he's suspended for 17 games, technically the whole year.
The whole year,
the whole year for gambling. And then you have I forgot who's the other player who's suspended. What's the young fella that went to the Seattle Seahawks and he just couldn't stop smoking weed?
Earl Thomas.
No, not Earl. Not Earl Thomas. Young wide receiver. Oh man, I forgot his name. But he's suspended. He went to Seattle. I mean, I forgot where he used to play for Patriots. He's been bouncing all around the league because he just can't stop smoking weed. He keeps getting caught. Josh Gordon. Yeah, he's suspended for like up team million something games. 6 game suspension. I agree with you, Bobby. A 6 game suspension. What that tells me is that there's enough money in this world to buy freedom.
Yeah, that's the other part.
That's what it is, and I mean, it's I'm not. I'm not here to bash Deshaun Watson. I'm damn sure not here to, throw shade at women who was involved in this situation. But it just goes to let you know, like I said, I watched that deposition case, and if you really watch how he answered those questions, just for him just saying, when the guy asked him, "Did you find her attractive?" He goes, "I have a girlfriend, so I don't know what you mean." Like, you can find a woman attractive. Any married man can sit here and say, "Yes, I think she's attractive." So it has nothing to do with being a girlfriend. But the way he answered those questions, man, says a lot about the situation that he was in, and says a lot about the situation that really happened in closed doors. So you know what I mean. So they settled the 6 game suspension, like you said. That's a slap on the wrist, but. How do you think that fares up? Let's just use Calvin Ridley, for example. How do you think that fares up with the Deshaun Watson case compared to Calvin Ridley's case? What do you think that stands on?
Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't, because it's 6 games compared to a whole year. So he challenged the integrity of the game, which that's any game, any sports, you're going to get a hefty suspension or a fine. That's why Pete Rose to this day is still not in the Hall of Fame. with baseball, which he should be, because the numbers he put up was crazy, but he bet on, that's a taboo. Taboo in any sport. You never compromise the integrity of any, and especially the game that you're playing. So I understand the year suspension with him. I really do. You compromise the integrity of the game. If it's $50 or it was $100,000. You're playing in the game, and you're compromising it. So, but compared to Deshaun Watson and his 6 games, I was going to bring that point up too. The money, because not only money but influence can go a long way. So it makes you wonder who's in one's pockets and who's is not. But if you bring the Calvin Ridley, it doesn't make sense how Deshaun gets 6 and he gets a whole year, or basically the whole year, the rest for the whole season. And I'm glad. Truthfully, man, like, it's one of those things where, again, they don't want Roger Goodell to have the power.
Yeah.
And they take it to Supreme Court, but this is one of those situations where it's a good thing he has the power, because he has to step in. It makes the NFL look horrible. 6 games, and he had over 60 women come out and say that it was sexual assault. He settled over 23 out of 24.
Yeah.
He will settle that last one. It will be 24 out of 24.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a bad look. So yeah, I mean, I'll say this, as a fan of the NFL, would I love to see him playing? Of course. I mean, he's electrifying. He's that much of a baller. He's a game changer. Now take the fan and the sports out of it. Man, honestly, yeah, he deserves at least a year. You know? But I think with Sue, she felt like, because I read it and I looked into it, her argument was he sat out all last year. So what was the point? Like, because he sat out last year, so that should
like time served.
It should be time served. So when it's almost like I get it. So
damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't. So it's almost like, I feel like, to be honest with you, man, even if, let's just say he was suspended 12 games, I still feel like Roger Goodell is going to appeal. He still got to put a stamp on it. He got to. He just can't not put a stamp on it. So
yeah, and it also makes me ask questions. Is like, if all this is coming out, deposition coming out, the settle's coming out, so it's looking like, maybe there could have been something that happened between all those cases. What does that say for the teams that was actually pursuing for him? The Falcons. What does that say about Cleveland Browns? I'm not saying that the man did it. It's just that there's a lot that's, if there was darkness, there's lights turning on, and there's starting to be some things that's starting to be seen. Yeah. My thing is like, what does that say about the Falcons? I'm a Falcons fan, but at the end of the day, you got to respect. You have to respect women's, people's. You got to respect people's, space. You know what I mean? You had to respect it. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. It's called respect the space. But for the Falcons and the Cleveland Browns to pursue them, and for Cleveland to sign up for what they did, it kind of makes me wonder. Is like, did they even know what was he doing, or did they know the case, or if they did know the case, did they care? Because for him to get 6 games, and this is just me, Roger Goodell can appeal it. NFL can appeal it all they want. It's done.
It's done.
It's done. Like he's going to be suspended for 6 games. Y'all can be all frustrated. That's not even half the season. He's suspended for 6 games. He'll be back in. Don't let it be where the team is behind, Deshaun Watson in this situation, which, from my understanding, all indication is pointing to a lot of the teams. The team is actually supporting Deshaun Watson. So that's what I'm saying. It's a two-way street. I wasn't in that situation. I don't know what's going on. I'm just here reading tabloids, and that's all it really is. It's just one of those things. But, with the case already moving on, he's suspended. They already got that out in the air. What do we really think the Cleveland Browns is going to be able to really do? Do we really think they're going to be the same Cleveland Browns without Deshaun Watson? Because he's going to be taking mental reps because he knows he's coming back. What do you think Cleveland Browns stands at?
Yeah, I don't think they're still competitive. I mean, even if he is gone for the year, they're still going to get that division. They're still going to get the division hell. I mean, they're just, because they're to me they're a sound, complete football team. They just don't 100%. Deshaun just takes them over the top. But I mean, look what they did with. Look, I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. I think. Well, let me not say fan, because I'm not a fan. but I'm a Baker Mayfield because I'm not a fan.
Hey, I had to look at you like,
yeah, I'm not a fan, but I defend him because I don't think he's gotten the right. He's had four different head coaches. Freddie Kitchens was head coach at one point. So, I mean, it's I don't know anybody that can. I mean, yeah, people can, but it's hard for anybody to adapt that type of language. Everybody's gonna come in and do their own thing. It's just like at jobs. I mean, you got someone that comes in, everybody wants to put their stamp on it, and everybody has to follow suit, but that takes time. So I just Baker Mayfield doesn't have. He's a good quarterback, but but going back to the Browns, they got defense, they got offense, they got special teams. I think that gets overlooked a lot. Their special teams is very sound. I mean, they had a hell of a year last year. I think they forced just on special teams alone, like they returned 4 touchdowns. They returned 4 touchdowns. They forced. You know what? Let's be accurate.
While you're doing that, I didn't even think about it. Like, Cleveland is definitely. I just feel like this is what I gotta say. I agree with you. Deshaun Watson definitely will put them over the top.
Yeah.
My question is how many games will they win without him for that first 6 games? Are they gonna go 1-5, 3-3, 4-2, 2-4, 1-5, 5-1? That's my question because the backup, he did. I say this. He did decent in Indianapolis, but how much of an impact was he in Indianapolis compared to how much of an impact Deshaun Watson is going to be at Cleveland?
You think he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo? Because they come from the same branch. Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett, they come from the same tree.
Okay, let me ask you this. So, real quick, do you think he had the same? I don't know why we keep saying Dorsett. Do we think he had the same opportunity as Jimmy Garoppolo? Because think about Jimmy Garoppolo went to 49ers.
Yeah, no, because so Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah,
he went to the Colts, and he even Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, raved about him. He didn't have this. He didn't even get it. You know who Jacoby Brissett reminds me of? Teddy Bridgewater. And no pun, but just a bridge quarterback to the next quarterback.
But I wouldn't say that because Teddy got injured. I think, look at this. If Teddy didn't get injured with the Vikings, do you think he would be where he's at now?
No, if I'm saying, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But see, Jacoby didn't get injured. I just think he ended up getting traded to a team that, like Jimmy Garoppolo went to the 49ers, which was already pretty much a building sound team. And defense was always, and I think everybody believed in Jacoby Brissett, but they didn't have the same weapons that I just don't think the Indianapolis Colts had the same players and playmakers just like the 49ers did. No. I just think I think Jimmy went to a really good, well-sounded organization, whereas Jacoby went to organization that technically was probably, it still is what technically was at the time, a rebuilding, like reframing organization. Like, I mean, they were decent, but it wasn't the same as when it was Andrew Luck was there. It just wasn't the same. Wasn't the same when it was Peyton Manning. It just definitely wasn't the same. So I think he got to a team that was definitely in a rebuild. Yeah, where Jimmy Garoppolo organization was sound.
Well, and that's add on to the point. I don't think he got his fair shot, but he's more. Jacoby Brissett is more than a decent quarterback. I think I would put him in. He's more than average too. I put him. He's a good quarterback, and he is what, to me, he can be what Jimmy Garoppolo was to the 49ers. He can be that for the Browns. Yeah. Because the Browns have weapons and they have, like, again, the defense. I'm trying to pull it up. My phone is tripping, but so sorry I couldn't get the accurate stats, but I do know that the special teams was on point. I know they were rated number 1 last year. I'm sorry, number two. They were number 2. So it's the special teams alone. So I mean, Jacoby is one of those dudes where, again, I don't think you're going to need Deshaun. I mean, you need Deshaun because he takes you over the top. But if you're looking to make noise in the playoffs, they can do it. But the AFC West, or not West, the AFC period. Jesus,
it's going to be a tough. The Raiders.
Raiders. The
Rams.
Chiefs. The Rams. No, the Rams are NFC. I mean, it is going to be a juggernaut. Oh, the Bills. I mean, you got sleeper teams. I mean, Broncos. Like it's.
That's what I was thinking. Broncos too. It's a nasty league.
It's a nasty AFC this year. So it's Does it see him in the Super Bowl? No. Does he make it to noise in the playoffs? I do. So, but Deshaun gets you to the next step.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say, look, Jacoby, if he really wants to put his name out there, he better use these 6 games.
Yeah.
And use them right. Like I look at it this way: if the Cleveland Browns couldn't get Deshaun Watson and didn't want Baker Mayfield, Jacoby would be an upgrade for them.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
He would be. But again, this goes back to, it's like, again, that bridge quarterback, he is going to be and it's you know what? It's too late for him.
Oh, because most definitely.
he's too old. Well, he's a little older, so where teams are not going to want to build around him. Yeah. And he's not young enough to be where a team's going to be like, okay, I believe in you. You're going to be at this point. If your phone is ringing, you're ringing because we need you to be that bridge quarterback for the next person. That's what he is now. It's time is bad. So
the time is definitely bad. I think he sat on the bench a little bit too long with New England.
Too long. So the time is bad, but he's a really, really good quarterback. So I think they'll make some moves. Yeah, and more importantly, he's a smart quarterback. Like, he makes the right decisions. So
come from New England. That's all they really do is just. I mean, I got to give it to you. Bill Belichick is like, look, don't throw that ball if it's not going to be complete.
Yeah, man. Nah, I mean, just like Jimmy Garoppolo, if he's off, hand it to Chubb, hand it to Kareem. You got Amari Cooper there, which I think you're gonna see a different side of Amari Cooper. I think you're gonna kind of see what they do with Debo, or San Francisco does with Debo. I think they're gonna do that with Amari. I do. They're gonna change. I think this is gonna be a little different. But when we do the Browns predictions, we'll dig a little more deeper into it.
All right. Well.